The monitor at the Fulton County Jail, who was appointed with the consent of Sheriff Labatt, Fulton County, and the DOJ, is out with their first report on the baseline status of the Fulton County Jail, or I should say jails. The biggest issue found with the jail is significant understaffing. That understaffing, according to the monitor, creates serious safety issues for residents as well as staff. And here's a perfect example right here. Upon the visit, there were about 200 residents housed in 6 different separate housing zones. For each of those 200 residents, there was only a single deputy or detention officer looking out over those 200 residents. In addition, security towers were often left vacant. A tremendous number of shifts in the jail are going unstaffed. This is just really remarkable. In the main jail, what we all call Rice Street, 50% of the shifts in a 1 hour period were going unstaffed. 50% unstaffed. During the visit, there were 1,838 residents at Rice Street, but there were 731 beds during that visit, 731 that were inoperable, usually due to environmental issues or maintenance issues. A lot of the offline beds were in areas that are being blitzed. Blitz is where the county puts resources in to try to repair that dilapidated facility. But the issue found by the monitor is once you repair or once you conduct a blitz, as soon as you put the residents back in that facility, it immediately gets torn up again because there's inadequate people supervising. The main jail at Rice Street serves as the intake for Fulton County's jail system. During the time of the tour, there were 100 residents there in 3 separate holding tanks. Those holding tanks were holding 30 to 40 residents in the tank, and they're just not designed for that. They were packed in so tightly that the people in there were not able to sit or to lie down. Every few hours, and there's one toilet in there for all of them to use. And then they're brought out every few hours for maybe 15 minutes to make a phone call and use some other restrooms. They would stay in these inhumane conditions for from 5 to 7 days. So, in other words, they are standing with no place to sit and no place to lie down in a holding cell for 120 to 168 hours, standing for that long. These are not people convicted of any crimes. For the most part, these are people that have been arrested and are awaiting trial. The jail is full of doors that do not lock, windows that have not been secured. Windows have holes burned into them so that contraband can enter the jail by use of drones. The showers are unsanitary. Plumbing and light fixtures don't work. The video tablets that residents have there are broken for the most part. During the visit, which by the way, jail officials are well aware of is coming, housing units were at 85 degrees with absolutely no type of system in place to take care of people when they're subject to that. They would be given water. If the ice machines were working, they would be giving ice. Despite the conditions in the jail, which are hazardous both to staff and to residents, the monitor found that the jail operations staff, they keep reporting to work despite the terrible conditions they face every day. And a lot of the senior personnel in the jail are working despite these awful conditions and trying their best. The monitor also found the jails to be extremely dangerous. That's news to no one. And they're just unacceptable, terrible conditions. Unsecured doors, non-functional lights, heavy smoke, mold odors permeate the jail. The residents don't trust the staff doesn't trust the residents. Communications between the two is entirely unprofessional. So what we have here is a terrible situation, and I do believe that for the most part, Sheriff Labatt is doing the best he can with this terrible facility and lack of budget that he has been handed. It is really time for Fulton County, the Fulton County Commission, the taxpayers of Fulton County to step up, provide a new jail, and get this thing fixed. That being said, if I were a judge, I would be hard pressed to not grant bond to most people that are sitting at the jail right now, because these are not conditions that these folks, who for the most part have not been convicted of any crime, should have to endure. Even those convicted of crimes need to be housed in sanitary and safe conditions. So it is really a horror show at Rice Street, and this initial monitor report just documents that. Let's hope that Sheriff Labatt can work with the Fulton County Commission, and the commission can get some money over to Sheriff Labatt to fix this stuff.